Pittsburgh's own B.E. Taylor with the national anthem here prior to Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. And a capacity house. We don't have to say that. In Pittsburgh, the city has gone bonkers over the Pens, and I'm sure it'll be the same when we get up to Minneapolis. Don Koharski is the referee tonight. And on the lines with him, Wayne Bonney and Ray Scapanello. Here's Koharski and his two linesmen. The two goalies tonight have been turning in big games night after night since early April. John Casey has been the man of the hour for Minnesota. Tom Barrasso's goals against average is second only to Casey's 263. Barrasso allowed 2.66 goals against. So the two goaltenders are hot. The two teams are brand new to this kind of pressure. And as we said at the top of the show, these two are very hungry to win a Stanley Cup.
Well, the crowd's ready to go if they weren't too discouraged by that lousy national anthem that we were lucky enough not to hear at home. It put everybody to sleep when they were on their toes for 15 minutes before this game started. But I'm sure the players who started warming up with 2 or 3 more verses to go in the national anthem are keen to get on with it here to find out who's going to grab that big trophy.
In front of Casey, Dahlquist and Tenorti will be the starting defensemen for Minnesota. Bobby Smith, Dahlin, and Bellows the forward line. And for Pittsburgh, Larry Murphy and Gordy Roberts. And Stevens, Francis, and Mullen up front. Koharski is at center ice, and the Stanley Cup Final is underway. Roberts on the puck. Comes to center and backs off his check. He leaves it for Murphy. He was bumped. Roberts is to back up again. Now through center ice, and Stevens just missed the pass. Minnesota, a very disciplined hockey team. Bobby Smith shoots it in. Not that Pittsburgh is anything but disciplined. But Minnesota has, let's face it, everybody talking. Pittsburgh in on the first attack. It is centered off the leg, and it bounced to the line, and Casey makes his first stop of the Stanley Cup Final, and he holds it.
Bobby Smith, of course, playing in another Stanley Cup. 3 game-winning goals he's got so far, and he's been a pleasant surprise. Here's the last opportunity here, the only opportunity of the game. Watch Tenorti right here to give you an idea what he's thinking about. As a scramble around the net, and Barrasso jumped on the puck. Bobby Smith, 3 game-winning goals in the playoffs so far, in the last 5 wins for that matter. He played an inspired third period in Edmonton in Game 5 to get the big goal that eliminated the Edmonton Oilers, defending Stanley Cup champions.
Harry, we want to introduce you to what goes on in hockey games in Pittsburgh in the playoffs. Elvis shows up once a period, I think, on camera, so here he is in the first period.
Face off to the right of Casey. Recchi with Olivia Park right behind him. Here he is, number 12. The other forward on that Pittsburgh line. Dahlin moving in. Put it in front. And Barrasso jumping across the crease had him go wide of the net. Knocked to center. Here he is moving in. One man back. Took a shot, and Casey had it go off his chest. Bounced on the glass, and Minnesota clear it out. Bellows trying to go in. Bellows lost it. Recchi is away with it. Got up as far as the line. It's broken up there by Minnesota. And again, Gavin moved in. He is stopped. Broughton going after it in the corner. Taglianetti checking him. It is centered. Broughton turning around and can't get his shot. Hands it off. Long shot is deflected wide of the Pittsburgh net. Duchesne trying to dig it out against Taglianetti. He's down on one knee, gets back up and poked the puck loose along the boards. Broughton is around the net. Minnesota is pressing now. Here's Broughton, tied up by Phil Bourque, holding it with his skate. Referee Koharski hollers to move it. They do. They still fight for it, though, in that big circle. Minnesota up with it. Backhander. That's deflected off his stick and over the net. Pittsburgh can't find the puck. It is centered right to the crease. And they get away with that one. Duchesne. He turns. Shoots. Barrasso the save. They fired away to center. Lemieux played it in for Bourque. Bourque shot. And gloved by Casey. All Minnesota. And then the Penguins got a rush. And a decent scoring chance. No score yet.
You get a lot more in a Ford Tempo and Mercury Topaz. Like a powertrain warranty, much like Cavaliers, only longer. 1 whole year longer to be exact. You get a lot more in Tempo and Topaz. You know, you get a lot more in a Ford Tempo and Mercury Topaz. In fact, right now, for a limited time, you can get even more. Bottom line, you get a lot more in Tempo and Topaz.
Well, here are the scratches for tonight's contest. The Minnesota North Stars are going with the same lineup that they finished with in Edmonton. Giles out, Johnson in. None of the other players have played a game in round 3. And for the Pittsburgh Penguins, Dick,
Not only Paul Coffey injured. It's amazing, Harry. They've gone through all of this, these two teams. Maybe that's why they're here.
well, to play as many games, 18 and 17, as they have in about 35 nights, to have 1 injury keeping the guy out is an amazing stat.
Mike Modano is number 9 in their forechecking for Minnesota. He's in on the boards, bumping his man. Now looks for it again. Cleared high by Aloni. Up to center ice. Murphy moved it in over the line. Shot in back of the goal. Yager fell, but rolled it off to the corner. Koharski letting him go. Yager comes in looking for it again. Yager giving a bump. Can't get the puck goal. Now he got a stick on it. In the corner, Yager gets free. Centered it right through the crease. Murphy a shot. That hit a skate. Loney missed it. It bounced away from him. And the North Stars get it out to center. A long shot in. Johnson ripping it away wide of the net. Murphy and Roberts. Up for Pittsburgh. Roberts centered it. Mullen was knocked off the puck and Casey grabs it. And he hangs on. No score nearing the 4-minute mark. Face-off is to the right of Casey. No score. 3:41 gone in the first period. Minnesota had about a minute of pressure inside the Pittsburgh line. Long shot. Score! A shot from the line. Samuelson. Pittsburgh leads 1-0.
Well, one of the strategies of the Penguins is to get somebody in front of John Casey. He's not a big goalie. Francis won the draw, then went to the front of the net, and I'm pretty sure screened Casey so he couldn't see it. Francis is the centerman. Samuelson on the left point. The puck comes back here. There's Francis. See, ties up the center, and the puck goes between the defensive center and Francis, and John Casey couldn't see it. A good job by Mark Guro to tie Francis up. Little did he know that Francis squeezed along to get in front of the net to cause the screen shot.
So very quickly, 1-0 Pittsburgh. We were talking about the pressure Minnesota had applied. Francis winning the faceoff. Samuelson scoring at 3:45. First period. Stanton takes it back at his own net. The Penguins are moving hard now. Erie is loose on the right side for Recchi coming in. Erie shot. That was deflected off wide, and a penalty is being called. It is going to be against Minnesota North Stars. Power play coming up, Pittsburgh.
In Canada, women and men are equals and constantly compete to gain some advantage, to get the upper hand and the better position. Molson Canadian, what beer's all about.
Things going the Penguins' way. Ulf Sanderson scoring at 3:45 and less than a minute of playing time later. Pittsburgh goes on the first power play of the Stanley Cup Final. Brian Propp called by referee Koharski for a slash. And if you have just joined us in the playoffs out of Pittsburgh, they played the Jaws theme and have signs whenever they go on the power play. So here's the first one.
Recchi on the face-off for Pittsburgh. Won it cleanly. Murphy shot. Casey the save. Shot was low. Nobody could tip it, and Casey saw it all the way.
Harry, when the Penguins faced the Bruins, they said they wanted to play the up-tempo style that is their best. They wanted to get control of that kind of style, and as that series went on, they did. Will they be able to do the same thing here?
Well, they're playing a much faster team in the North Stars than were the Bruins. One thing I've noticed already is that the Penguins, up till that face-off, had been dominating on the face-off. If you start every face-off without the puck, you're asking for trouble.
Murphy is turning with Scott Young. That is Stevens on the move with the puck. Recchi and Lemieux on the play. And it bounces out to center ice, and Murphy had to hustle back to pick it up. Young, long pass, couldn't find anybody. No icing, that's been waved off and was tipped near center ice. Chambers trying to clear it, and does. Barrasso coming out of the net as Murphy comes back. Duchesne is on the ice for Minnesota, along with Mark Bureau. The penalty killers up front. Murphy, the defenseman, shot it as he hit the line. Here's Recchi looking out in front of the net. Everybody covered there. And the North Stars clear the zone again. Bureau was up there looking for it, but Murphy got back to take it from Young. And he gave it back to him. Young comes over center. Pass through the middle. The Stars doing a good job filling this penalty. 50 seconds left on the power play for Pittsburgh. Bureau in there. Stole it center to Duchesne and robbed by Barrasso. What a great save that was. Stevens coming to center. Stevens moves in. He has Lemieux with him. He lost it. Duchesne trying to move it out. Lemieux on the board. Digs it out for Stevens and at the line. Billboard back to number 66. Mario moving up a step or two. Looking around. Shoots it. Rolled it right up the far side. And Casey had the glove there just in case, and he made the stop.
Boy, Harry, you wondered off the top of the show about Barrasso. He can be good, but just how often would he be good? Well, he starts off on a high right here with his shorthanded situation. Duchesne with a great chance. Giveaway time in the Penguin zone.
Gaetan Duchesne and Stuart Gavin not only are supreme penalty killers for the North Stars, but they will end up, before this series gets very old, in my opinion, being on Stevens, Recchi, or Lemieux. Here's the giveaway, Dick, you were talking about, and the big save by Barrasso.
Look at all that open ice inside the blue line. Duchesne with the puck, Barrasso with the save.
20 seconds left on the power play. Minnesota hanging on. While shorthanded, Yager got it back to the line. Back to Yager. Far side or brother Lemieux again, and Bork at the blue line. Lemieux was open, but he shot it himself. Lemieux went after it. It's still in there. Bill Bork off balance, but he stops it now. Played it up to Lemieux, and he missed. Hitting that far corner a second time as Casey got his stick on it. Lemieux now goes off. Minnesota in. Penalty over. Score! Deflected and a one up high in the net. The net is off the magnets, and the referee says that, in fact, is a goal. Tied, 1-1.
Well, it went off either the Pittsburgh player trying to prevent the North Star player from going to the net, or it went off the North Star player. And the North Stars go to the net without the puck very well. Bobby Smith got the winner in Game 5 in Edmonton on a play where he went to the net. Now, Broughton just throws it in front because he knows he's got some people going to the net. And and it looked like it might have gone off the Pittsburgh player as Tenorti was in the rush, and you'll see him in the rush all kinds of time this year, or this series. Here he comes through the middle. You can see them at the right-hand part of your screen, and he can't be handled. And although that wasn't a pretty goal, it counts, and it was a pretty good decision by Tenorti to do what he did, to get in the spot to cause the trouble.
Broughton gets credit for the goal, so the ruling is it went in off the Pittsburgh defender, and the puck was definitely in the net before it left the moorings. And a 1-1 tie here before this first period's half over.
6:32 is the time of that tying goal by Broughton, his 7th of the playoffs. Deflected high, beyond Barrasso's reach. 1-1 now. Here in the 7-minute mark of the first period as Bellows comes in. He tried to center it. Bobby Smith was covered in front of the net. Now he gets it back again. Dumped it right into the mitt of Barrasso. And the goaltender decides he better hang on to it with Smith and Bellows buzzing around the net.
Big news! With Canadian Tire's new catalogs for spring and for summer, you'll find great values on everything you need, right when you need it.
Barbecues.
What do 2 wheelbarrows, 1 mower, 4 toolboxes, a tricycle, and 2 bowlers have in common? They'll all fit in this spacious 8x5-foot storage shed. Save $50, just $195.66. This week only at Canadian Tire.
Well, there's the veteran Neil Broughton, who made his Stanley Cup playoff debut 10 years ago in '81, when the last time there was an All-American final series. He played for that U.S. Olympic team in Lake Placid the year before. There he gets credit for a goal, shall we say, on this one. Let's show it better here.
It went off Gordy Roberts, who couldn't handle Tenorti going to the net. So Broughton gets it, but Tenorti made the play.
One shot is deflected wide of the Pittsburgh goal. 1-1 at the 7-minute mark of the first period. Pittsburgh with the first goal. Samuelson scored it. And now Broughton tying it. Jennings chasing the puck for Pittsburgh in his own zone. He watched Loney try to hit Trottier with the pass. Taglianetti moving up. Here's Trottier. Bellows stopped him. Smith missed a chance to move on it, and he was buzzed. Again, it's fired in across the line. Jim Johnson got it back to center. Jennings brings it in. Jennings nearly got through to the net. Casey came out and flipped it into the corner. Stars moving. High shot into the center ice area, and a penalty coming up against the home team this time. And Minnesota on a rush went offside on the play. Madonna ahead of the play. And it's going to be a Minnesota power play coming up.
One of the strategies that Pittsburgh was determined to keep was no needless penalties, and they violated that little rule right here.
Fact. The full-size F-Series pickup has more repeat buyers than any other pickup. Fact. F-Series is the best-selling full-size pickup in Canada and has been for 25 years. Fact. F-Series has a higher resale value, higher than Chevy, higher than GMC. Call it leadership. Call it anything you want. The simple fact of the matter is, Ford is number 1. For a limited time, get 8.9% financing at your Ford and Mercury dealers.
Now, the North Stars have become well known for their power play efficiency this playoff year, especially in that Chicago series, where they scored 15 times. Got a record-tying number of 32 now. Here's their first one of the finals. Troy Loney was penalized. It happened behind the Minnesota net as he got called for roughing, so it's the North Stars on the power play.
And they win the draw and move it across the line, but the Penguins knock it across again into the neutral zone. Kopp hands it off to Broughton. He turns. Bellows. Got it in across the blue line again. Tenorti tried to put it through. Here comes Tenorti for the net. He got in the slot. Had it knocked off his stick and out. Broughton coming back. Joe Mullen watching him. Steals it. Comes into the backhand. Stopped by Casey. North Stars come back out. Here's Bellows faking the shot. Put it in the slot. Nobody there. And the Penguins clear it again.
Tom Barrasso was hurt or went down on one knee after that rush, the North Stars again storming the net. As soon as somebody without the puck can get to the net, he goes straight to it for the North Stars and must have hit Barrasso on that one. I didn't see the play, but Barrasso was very slow getting up. And part of the scouting report that the Minnesota North Stars got from Les Jackson was give this guy Barrasso some trouble. Surely that didn't hurt him. Get in his face, bump him, get him off his game. He's been known to do that throughout time.
Late reaction there by Barrasso. This is not Academy Award time. They were given out a month or so ago. Giveaway time, however, in the Minnesota zone, Harry, the 2 number 7s have brought man the puck to Joey Mullen. Boy, he had another good short-handed chance in this hockey game.
Mullen's got one of the great backhands in the National League, a disappearing art in professional hockey these days. He nearly scored on it right there.
Minute 17 left in the penalty. 1-1 is the score. First period, 8.5 minutes into it. Minnesota starting out again. Brock slides it up to center ice. It's broken up easily by Lemieux. And he shoots it all the way down. Casey out. Brock bringing the puck to the line. His pass.